In this week's episode of Zankyou no Terror, Shibazaki reluctantly teams up with Sphinx to stop an explosive airport massacre. But first, a quick word from our sponsors. You get it. Your ass is a major part of your life, and it deserves the same amount of respect as the rest of you. And when you feel like the newly elected mayor of Septic City, it's time to reach for some one-wipe Charlies, the civilized way to wipe. You can have this and these high-quality razor blades shipped directly to your home by checking out dollarshaveclub.com/SKG. Shave time. Shave money. Booty wipes. Pop quiz, hotshot. There's a bomb on a plane, and Lisa's stuck on that plane. What do you do? What do you do? Well, thank God they're not going to call Keanu Reeves in on this one. That would just be embarrassing. Another week, another episode of Zankyou no Terror, and this one did not disappoint. It was a little slow in the beginning of the episode, and I felt it was a little unnecessary that they had to give us a recap, then the intro, then another recap by showing us the finale from last week's episode. That was a little unnecessary, guys. This is going to be a short anime series. Let's get things moving. However, once they got to the title card and this episode started to move along, it was really interesting because the first half of the episode was a lot of showing, not a lot of telling, and they were telling their story through their animation, which was really smart. And they're continuing to play a game of chess, where 5 is continuing to manipulate all of the monitors and computers all over the place, and they're sort of like guiding 9 and 12 all over the place. But what is great about the episode is, just like the series Death Note, which I have been comparing the series to quite a bit, there is a nice twist where 9 and 12 are actually able to trick 5 by inserting this video loop, which actually happened 5 minutes earlier, which makes 5 think that they're in different locations. And when 5 starts to leave the control room, 9 surprises her with a gun to the head, and it's an incredibly tense scene. But 5 has another trick up her sleeve. It is a trump card in the form of Lisa being captured by her friggin' goons. And that's when they place her on this plane, and that's when they have to figure out what the hell they're gonna do to save the day. Well, this is the part I didn't expect, and that was Shibazaki and 9 talking to each other. And there was a scene which is okay in a sense, but it's very stereotypical in that, like, I've seen it in, like, 50 different types of anime series, where there are characters who are looking for each other, and they pass each other for the first time, and it goes into, like, slow-mo. I thought it was kind of cheesy when it did that, but still it was effective in what it was trying to do. And Shibazaki could tell there's just something not quite right about this kid, and he even realized that he ran into him earlier. And they're going to have to work with each other, because 9 lets Shibazaki know that if you go up into the control tower, you're going to be able to stop all of this. And Shibazaki just busts in like a boss. He goes through all the security, he runs up, he pulls a gun on everybody, and you can see that 5 is visibly pissed off. She really had her jollies rocked this week by everybody, and you can see that she's not going to have complete control over everything. And in a scene right out of a big Hollywood action movie, Lisa is able to escape by tying herself off and jumping on this like little tram that both 9 and 12 are driving, and they're able to escape because Shibazaki is still hanging out in the control tower, and there's no way he's going to be able to meet them at the bottom in time. The episode ends ominously with 5 actually holding on to Lisa's ID card, and this is going to let her know exactly where she goes to school. She's going to be able to find her, and she's going to be able to use her against Sphinx, which is going to be really messed up. So, what is the rundown in this week's episode of Zankyou no Terror? A really good episode that started off, unfortunately, really slow. It just didn't really do anything for me, especially with all of the recapping. Completely unnecessary. One of my favorite parts about this week's episode is this very short scene between 9 and 12 when they realize that Lisa is on the plane, and they have to make the decision on what they're going to do. And you can see that 12 is visibly upset about the fact that when 9 came up with their plan about evacuating everybody, he didn't even think about Lisa's safety. And this is just, again, you know, this is why 9 did not want Lisa to be a part of their group, because in some senses she can be helpful. She did help out with them this week in allowing them to sneak around and implant that fake video, but at the same time, her getting captured is like sort of what messed up everything at the end, and it could have resulted in the deaths of a lot of people. In fact, only at the last second do they have that plane turn around before it freaking explodes and goes crazy and ends up looking like the aftermath of a Godzilla and Muto battle. But I loved it. It was an awesome episode. The technical stuff, of course, the animation and the artwork was great, just like the rest of the episodes. I pretty much say that every friggin' review of this series because it always looks good. It looks fantastic. It went from a perfect, like, evening setting to night, and everything just looked really good and clean and consistent, and 5 looked really creepy at the end of the episode when she was shrouded in shadow and the only thing you could see were her eyes glowing while she was holding Lisa's ID. Very creepy scene. And like I said, I imagine she's going to use that to her advantage to sort of like, you know, that's like their Mary Jane to their Spider-Man. She's going to kidnap Lisa, who is Mary Jane, and the Spider-Man, who is Sphinx, is going to have to come and save the day. But the thing that they're not getting into yet is the backstory of 9, 12, and 5, and what sort of weird brainwashing institute they went to as kids. And I'm not sure how this is going to tie into the whole, like, terrorism and them stealing plutonium, but I'm still really interested in that. And, you know, the intro of the show is just filled to the brim with all of that imagery, and just the song goes with it perfectly, so I'm still thinking that they're probably going to save that for the very, very end of the series, because it's going to be like one of those moments where it just like falls into your lap and you're just like, oh my god, there's a lot of things now in the series that start to make sense. There's going to be scenes that are going to click into place when they finally reveal all that information. Hopefully, because this is going to be a short series, especially you can tell because the budget is friggin' ridiculous. But another really great episode with a lot of great intense action scenes at the end of the episode. A little slow in the beginning, and that's really what brought this episode down for me. Otherwise, this was a great episode. We got to see our first confrontation between 9 and 5, and I know that we're going to see a lot more in the future. And maybe we'll get to see a little bit more of Shibazaki working with Sphinx in the future, because obviously Sphinx, they're not bad in a sense, you know, they're trying to get their message across. They're going about it in a really, like, explodey kind of way, you know what I mean? So, you know, that's just the way it is. But otherwise, this was a fantastic episode. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10 this week. If you're following the series, most definitely check this one out. You'll get to see Lisa finally being useful to the group, and then getting kidnapped like Princess Peach. But still, that's the way it is. Really exciting stuff. High-quality anime series that you should definitely check out if you are following the genre. Good stuff. Thank you guys for watching my review today. Before you leave, make sure and hit that like button so you can give that video a thumbs up. It really helps us out a lot. And please tell me what you thought about this week's episode of Zankyou no Terror. How do you think 5 is going to use Lisa against Sphinx? Please tell me. And make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That way you can see all of our latest anime and manga reviews. And make sure to follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. I'll put links for both of those in the description box below.
Do you like Amazon.com? I know I do. Corey and I now have an Amazon link in our video description box below. And if you go to it and buy anything through Amazon.com, it will support our channel. So bookmark that link, make it happen, and support our channel without having to do a damn thing.
Another great way you guys can help support our channel is by donating directly through our PayPal link in the description box below. We recommend $2 a month, although this is completely optional. But the best way to go about this is by sneaking into your mom's room and taking $2. This way, she won't even notice. And we won't have to shake you up for all of your lunch money. So guys, that concludes this review today. Super Kami Guru 9000. Out.